Sup Swarm, Sketchy here, and it's an interesting morning. It's January 30th. I just got up to edit the next episode of Nah Fam, and it came to my attention that last night, some details were given out about Gen 5 of MLP, and I have some thoughts, I have some opinions, and I have some time, so figured I'd just get these out. I'm not sure what I'm gonna have for footage. Maybe I'll just put up some like gameplay of some game I happen to be playing, whatever. Anyway, so from the gist of it, it seems that instead of a total reboot or a reimagining of the main six in a new setting, it looks like we're going to have the same Equestria as Gen 4, but it's going to be in the future with an all new cast of main characters. My feelings are mixed. Full disclosure, I very much was in the camp of let's get something completely new, let's not rely on what we've had in the past and create something that is accessible to newcomers and doesn't rely on pandering to the people that like the previous generation in order to be successful. If you're familiar with my content, then you know that I firmly believe that My Little Pony is at its best when it's just trying to be itself and just make good stories rather than rely on pandering to bronies and making callbacks and making entire episodes whose only point is to make references to fandom memes or fandom culture and not offer anything else that would entertain someone that isn't into that kind of stuff. So the idea of Gen 5 being a new setting or a new take on the main six that we know, that was my preferred idea for a Gen 5. So the information on this new generation of MLP is coming from an article by Kidscreen that I'll link in the description. And we're going to start off with my concerns, and then we're going to end off with my hopes so that we can end this video on an optimistic note, because that's my preferred way of going into new things. My first concern comes from the following statement by Emily Thompson, who's the VP of Brand Management at Entertainment One, who's a subsidiary of Hasbro. With the movie, the 2021 MLP movie, we started development and made the decision to expand the world of My Little Pony rather than starting from scratch with a total brand reinvention. We found ourselves with this whole decade of storytelling and really rich lore, and it felt wrong to walk away from all that. Hasbro and Entertainment One are businesses, let's not get it twisted. And since this statement is coming from the Vice President of Brand Management, what this says to me is that the brand identity that My Little Pony developed with Generation 4 is too lucrative for Hasbro to want to risk doing something completely new. And from a business perspective, I can completely understand that, but the section of the statement that gives me pause is when Thompson mentions really rich lore. That raises a lot of alarms in my head because, again, if you're familiar with my content, then you know that I'm not a big fan of emphasizing lore as the most important thing. I've said time and again that lore is a byproduct of an already good story. It's not the reason a story is good. And a lot of people that watch a show and focus so much on the lore and filling out the map and filling out wikis tend to miss the forest for the trees when it comes to the actual content of what they're consuming. I've had comments saying that an episode isn't good because it doesn't add to the lore of the show, which is just completely asinine to me, but I don't know about y'all. And after seeing several shows disappear up their own ass by over-focusing on lore, when I see a statement like this, I can't help but get a little bit concerned. Now, does this guarantee that they'll be focusing on lore? Absolutely not. It's just that past habits from other shows and MLP itself give me pause when I see the mention of it. It's been mentioned in the article that this approach to Generation 5 creates opportunities to include nods to previous iterations, which transitions into my hopes for this new generation. I hope that when they say nod, they actually mean nod. Stuff like brief passing mentions that won't alienate newcomers to this generation. Episodes like Slice of Life aren't nods. That's bowing. That's groveling. It's bootlicking. My second hope is more of a preference, and it's that I would like for the new cast of main characters to not be related to any major characters from Friendship is Magic. Use the existing setting as a springboard to tell brand new stories rather than as a crutch to hold on to the stories that you told before. Having a main cast of all new characters helps to facilitate that mindset. If I had to bring up a point of reference to describe what I'm hoping for, it would be a lot like Yu-Gi-Oh! GX in terms of how it relates to its predecessor. It takes place in the same world, but in a location that we're completely unfamiliar with brand new characters, none of whom have any prior relationship with characters from the previous series. Characters from the original rarely ever make appearances, and when they do, their involvement is minimal. An approach like this fits the criteria of what Hasbro has planned for this show, without alienating newcomers and without pandering to older fans while still providing a setting that is familiar to them. When it comes to my overall feelings, cautious optimism is the name of the game here. There's a lot here that raises some flags in my head, but I do feel that under a competent writing staff, this approach can still be something that's worthwhile. It's still early, there's still a lot that we don't know and a lot that remains to be seen, so I'll just be keeping my fingers crossed. Now, to end off, I'm just going to preemptively answer a few questions that I'm sure I'm going to be getting in the comments. First off, am I going to be giving regular updates on every bit of news that comes out about this new generation? I'm inclined to say no unless there's some news that comes out that really pops out at me and I really feel the need to comment on it. But as far as giving regular news updates on this new generation, very unlikely. Secondly, will I be reviewing this new show when it comes out? I have absolutely no idea. I have to watch a show to figure out whether or not it's something I really want to talk about in a video. And since the information that we have is minimal at best, there's no way of knowing whether or not it's something that I'm going to want to review. So for all the people in the future that asked me if I'm going to be reviewing this new series and you got linked to this section of the video, now you know why. So that pretty much covers my thoughts on G5. I hope you guys enjoyed, and until next time, keep it sketchy, folks. Peace.